So I recently discovered that I've got a load of these cardboard inserts from, I think they come from something with, like, I don't know, art print orders or something, where they just sort of stick it in to cover up something else. They're basically, they just normally go and get chucked into recycling, I think. But I held on to them for whatever reason, so I've got a load of them. And they're shiny on one side, and I'm not too keen on working on that side because I'm a bit scared of how it might land. But this side has got a bit of a tooth to it, but it's a very fine tooth. So I'm going to have a go at working on this. I did something on it recently. I did show it in a video, hang on. I've done a couple of works. So I've done this one, you might have seen this one already. I did this one, like completely covered it. You might have seen it slightly warps the card when you completely cover it. But that's no big deal. You could frame it or whatever if you were going to do something with it. I might put this one for sale on my web shop actually, because people have expressed an interest. I might put it up for sale, that one. Yeah, I might well do. Then I've done this one as well. This was just a tryout, really. It's just an idea I had for a series that I end up changing my mind on. I can't remember why. I was very excited about it at the time and then went off the idea. But anyway, you can see what I've tried to do with it and everything. But this is on that card as well. As you can see, the paint slightly warps it, but I don't really care about that much. It's still quite a nice effect. And you can work... I've worked a bit of spray on there. I've worked a bit of... There's a lot of paint on there. You can work anything on there. That background is their Stabilo 88s. Yeah, it will take a good bit of punishment as well, because I reckon it's about 330 GSM, something like that. So it's nice, hardy stuff. It's not too heavy, but it's not too light. So that's what we're working on. So I thought it might be a good opportunity to do something with these. Now these are my new Woomer pencils, 72 colours. Let's have a look at them. This is a bit of an exciting thing. Look at this. So it opens up into that, and then of course you lift that out like that, and it offers you all that. Now looking at this straight away, I mean the colour range on this is just superb. And where do you even start, right? I mean, so I've been working with these for ages, Caran d'Ache, and I've never really upgraded from the 12, and I'll tell you for why. Because, and you can see how much I work these pencils, hang on. So I've had these pencils for ages as well, ages. And that's where they're at the moment. As you can see, like, so yellow virtually never gets used at all. The light blue, neither. Dark blue every so often, that blue. But most of the time I'm using a purple, this light orange, and there's a black that goes in there that is kicking around my desk somewhere. Don't know where, but it's around. And they're the ones that get used the most. And because of that, I've never upgraded, because I kind of thought, well, I'm mostly using, like, look at the ones I'm using. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. That's mostly what I'm using. Sometimes a brown, you know. Mostly, I'm using like 5 or 6 colours. So I've kind of thought, well, why would I upgrade into anything bigger? So when we got in touch with me, they said, are you interested in using pencils? And I said, well, yeah, maybe. And they said, we've got a full pencil set. Have a look at this, 72 pencils. We'll send you one. And I said, oh, fantastic. Okay, let's get involved. Let's do it. And I'm looking at this range going, I can see a lot of possibility here, because it means what I can do, because what I often do is I work on paint marker and then I work in pencil on the top of it. So I thought, well, what better opportunity than to do it today? Let's give it a go. Let's give it a couple of goes. Let's see how it runs out, and see what kind of effects we can get with these pencils and all. I'll do it in time lapse probably. I might do a little bit of it in real time depending on how it goes, just so you can see it. Maybe, but most of it I think I'm going to do it in time lapse, so that I can get a good, because it might take a long time is all, you know. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get something on the page, And then I'm going to lay some pencil down on it and around it, and let's see what we can do. Okay, so I've got my base cute going on there. I've deliberately kept it very featureless on there, except for that tiny shadow, because it is, you know, supposed to be three-dimensional, right? So I've just lifted off that a little tiny little bit. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to try, I've picked out 3 colours, an orange, a sort of mauve colour, and a purple. What I'm going to use this as my absolute base fade. I'm going to use this as a transitional colour, and then this is going to be, what would you call it? This is like a deep contrast. So let's see how we go on. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do this first bit in real time, just because it's sort of, see, I've dropped that on there. That's a really good sign, actually. I've dropped it on there, and it's just made a mark already, even when it's dropped. I'll tell you why that's a good sign. Because it's a nice soft pencil. It's soft enough to make a mark, even if you just drop it. That's a really good sign. You need these pencils to be really soft, because if they're not soft, so this is always the difficult thing about pencils, right? Always the difficult thing about pencils is they've got to be hard enough not to break up here or in here, and they've got to be soft enough to be able to lay down nicely and to blend nicely. It's not a good combination, generally speaking. You know, it's a difficult combination to have to achieve. So let's give it a go. Is that still wet? That's a tiny bit wet there. Probably be fine. So I'm going to lay this down. Whenever you're working with pencil, work really, really light. It's time consuming. It can be a bit frustrating, but you've got to take your time with it. Because if you rush it too much, what you're going to do is you're going to lay down too much and too hard. And you can go back over this stuff in paint. It is possible to do that, but it doesn't really like it as a surface. Paint doesn't like these pencils as a surface, generally speaking. Better to lay these down over the top. Okay. So I'm laying a bit more down there. Don't be afraid to smudge with fingers. I always do it. Get very nice effects with finger smudging. I mean, really, so I hold my pencils down here. Really, you should hold your pencils up here, because this is the way you get a nice light touch. And just feather it up like that. So far so good. Bit worried about my camera battery. I think that might go down very soon. I'll keep a close eye on it. If it does, I'll do something about it. Of course, the card you lay it down on is important to this as well, because if you lay it down, the reason I don't like the smooth side is because there's no tooth. And by tooth, we just mean a slightly rough edge to the card. This is not very rough either, so it's not the ideal surface for pencils. There's a bit of a tooth on it, just not much. What I tell you what is perfect for it is watercolor paper. If you can find watercolor paper is just perfect for pencils, really. This is giving me a nice fade though. It's a tiny bit inconsistent because of the texture of the card, but it's enough. I think it's enough for quite an interesting looking fill. The real teller will be when I come to lay down the other colours. Nice and light. I'm not the ideal person for nice and light either. I'll make a bit of a, well, let's just say, what was it they always used to say at school? They used to call us ham-fisted. I used to do, what do you call it? Design communication, which is basically technical graphics, industrial graphics and stuff like that. And, I mean, that sounds very exciting and everything, doesn't it? I was rubbish at it. I was really, really bad at it. And I was very interested in being good at it. I wanted to be really good. And some of my mates could work really technically with really concise measurements. I never could. And it used to drive me really mad that I couldn't do it. And in the end, I kind of thought, well, maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree. Maybe this is the wrong thing for me. Maybe I'm more of a traditional artist. So I did fine art instead, not at school, in my own time. Took to it straight away. So failed at school, failed with my design and everything at school. Didn't do very well at all. I think I got an E in the end, rubbish. Because measuring stuff and all that does not suit me. Moral of this story, don't be put off if you fail at something, because if you shift a few feet to the side, metaphorically speaking, you might discover that actually you're better placed over there. I should have really taken art and design at school instead of technical graphics and design and communication. Design and communication, if you wanted to be engineering, architecture, a couple of mates who did design communication became sort of like property engineers, whatever you call that, you know, doing architectural designs, stuff like that. Yeah, it's kind of amazing, isn't it? You know, some of the people I went to school with actually did go on to do something quite impressive. An equal amount, probably, let's just say didn't do quite so well. some of them ended up being detained at Her Majesty's pleasure. If you're from the UK, you'll know what that means. If you're not from the UK, you can probably guess. There we go, that's shaping up nicely. This demands a lot more patience than I normally have, so it's quite good doing it in real time actually. When I know I've got an audience, you know, who are watching what I'm doing, because it demands that I take my time. Like I say, the clincher will be when I lay down a mauve. That's the one. I'm thinking, what's that going to be like? Because already I'm realising this card, I really like this card as a surface. In theory, at least. Because in actual fact, it don't really have the tooth for a pencil. Not really. But therein lies the challenge, right? We're up for the challenge. Okay, that's just a bit of a... It's a bit of a waxy fade on there. So now, what do I want to do with this? Is there enough on there? Maybe. Should I do some top faders? I don't know if I do any top fade. I like a nice bottom fade. Don't know about you. I should really start over here. I've got a really bad habit actually. I just start anywhere. I am truly a creature of chaos. I'm one of them really annoying people who does spoilers for films and TV. I don't do it to ruin other people's lives. I do it because I genuinely don't really care, you know, where I pitch up in a TV show or anything. I'm not one of them people where you have to start at the beginning, you have to work your way through it. I start anywhere, start at the end, I don't care. I'm also one of them annoying people, like I watch like 2 seasons of Breaking Bad. I'll go, yeah, it's fantastic, yeah, it's really good. And then probably won't watch anymore. That is partially because I've always got something else to do. You know, I'm not an out-and-out psychopath, which is what I have been accused of. Always got something better to do. I think if you're an artist, you will always have something better to do, right? Because you don't get good at art by accident. Some people are very, very naturally gifted. Like really naturally gifted. I am not one of them, by the way. I've had to work really hard to get even as good as I am now, and I would like to be a lot better. You know, I've got people I look at like Logan, Miedo, Nisterfuchs in Germany, just like astonishingly good. Jamie Riz, he's another one. Look at these people and just go, wildly, wildly good. So good. You know, I look up to them. Okay, I'll tell you what, this is taking a long time and this is going to take a while. So, I'm going to get this on time lapse. Okay, so that's all finished now. What was great about this is the pencil lays down very nicely on top of the other pencil. There were 2 things I was looking for, really. I was looking for how well the pencil lays down on other pencil and how much it can blend and smudge, because that's really what I'm looking for. Both of them things, it's been really, really good. So far, so good. I want to give it a bigger run out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do another video after this at some point, and do a much larger scale piece, probably like maybe even use exclusively pencils or paint and pencils, because I always like to mix media up anyway. That's kind of how I work. And yeah, in the meantime, these are the pencils from Woomer. I will put a link in the description. You can go and have a look, see what you think. The range is pretty impressive. That's the top layer. That's the bottom there. You get some great colours in there, and look at all this. I mean, it's given me a lot of ideas. Sometimes you can just get inspired by colours, right? Look at all them blues and what you can do with that. Yeah, so lots and lots of uses for these coming up. But yeah, I will do another video with these guys. Probably more involved with next time. Like major fills, big piece, that kind of stuff. Look out for that coming up.